Hello, welcome back to the car. Now I'm just off down to see the guys at Operation Jackdaw. So I'm in the Greencraft mobile, and as you can tell, it's quite a bumpy track we're driving down. Now it's absolutely beautiful today, clear blue skies, and I think it's going to be a fairly warm night, so an ideal one for hammock camping. Hello, as I said, I'm off with Operation Jackdaw this weekend, doing a spot of teaching, all the teaching stuff up on the top there. But before I start teaching, well, I want to get my bed space set up, and as I prefer to sleep in a hammock, I've got all my hammocking stuff up in there, and I thought what I'd do is I'd just take you through my setup that I use in the woods on what is looking like a very beautiful weekend. So with that said, let's get moving. So this looks like a great spot. What I'm going to do, as there's I don't think much of a chance of rain in the next 15 minutes, I'll get the hammock up first, and then once I've got the hammock up, well then I'll get the top cover up. Obviously, if I wasn't sure about the weather, well that top cover would always go up first. So there you go, that is the hammock up, nice and quick. What I'm going to do next is get the insulation layers in underneath, and then with that done we'll get that top cover over the top. Now on this hammock, it's a little homemade one, and at one end there's a little sleeve, there's a hole in there, and into there I'm going to put the kit mat. It's not the only insulation I'm having underneath me, but this is the first layer of it. And all I do, open it out, fold it in two, like so, and then slide it down inside. And that's the first bit done. The next thing I'm going to need, well, that's going to be my poncho liner, and that is right where I need it in my dry bag, next up in the top of my rucksack. So let's take this one out, and then we'll get that set up on the bottom. And then sewn into my poncho liner, got a bit of bungee cord and a couple of these little carabiners. All I do is just clip those on to those little metal rings up on there. And then this just drags out underneath, and I do the same at the other end. So there we go, that's the hammock set up with the insulation underneath it. So I should be toasty warm in there. Next thing I need, top cover over the top. For that, I'm going to go straight from jungle rope. So for this bit, all I'm going to need is my stick, my jungle line and my tree. So all I'm going to do is tie this, and I'm probably going to put it somewhere between my shoulder height and my head height, because that should give me plenty of headspace inside the shelter. I'm going to go round, and then just the same as I've done in my previous videos, pass that through there, put my stick up through there, job done. Just going to take this down the other end to that one, get a bit of tension on it, and that's the top line done. Now with that up, I can then get my tarp over the top. Today I'm using a DD 3x3 super light tarp. So with that up, all I need to do now is tie out the corners, and for that I'm going to use my little jungle toggles that are going to go into each of these corners. So there you go, that's it up, and that took no time at all. All I've got left to do now is to move my kit inside, so just in case there was a burst of rain, it's all kept nice and dry. So there we go, this is on the inside. Straight away you can see it's an awful lot calmer. That bit of a breeze that was getting up out there, well, that's completely blocked out in here. All I'm going to do with my personal kit is I'm just going to take it and I'm going to place it just over there, directly underneath my rucksack. So it's in the centre of my basher, so it's protected from any weather that comes in. Also, once my sleeping gear is out of this later on tonight, this still stays in that same position down there. So I've got somewhere I can put my feet, and I have my boots next to it, so that I can put my feet down on here and then pull my boots on, just for that bit of stability when you're half asleep. And at my age, you can't be too careful. Now that sun's started to get a little bit lower in the sky, and it's started to get a little bit chillier. So now I'm going to get my sleep system out. And obviously I've got my hammock, got my underquilt, got a foam mat in there. As far as insulation for the top of me, well, very simply I'm going to use my One Wind top quilt. Now the temperature tonight is supposed to get down to, I think it's about 5, which I've used this below 5. It's rated to 5 degrees, but actually I've taken it down to 0 degrees. So it does work. Beyond 0, you need extra insulation as well, but certainly for tonight I'll be using this and this alone. Good to go. Now that sun's got lower in the sky, it's started to get a little bit chilly, but I'm all set up over there. So now I'm going to head down to the other end where I can do a spot of teaching. So that wind is getting up, and I think it's time to turn in. Fire's damped down the other end, and well, I'm all set up and good to go up here. As you can see, I've got my hammock, got my poncho on the underside to act as an underquilt, got my kit pad inside there, and then I've also got my top quilt over the top, so I should be snug as a bug in a rug. Now what I've also got, as well as my basher, my jungle line set up above me. The jungle line is a very good place where you can put stuff that you might need during the night. So I can put my glasses up there, I can stash my phone up there, and I've also got my light just stashed up right above where I'm going to need it, so I can get into my hammock, can switch my light on and off from the comfort of my hammock, and I know where it is. If I wake up in the night, it's directly above me. This little light is a Woburn G5, which is well, something you're going to be finding out a little bit more about in another video, and that one will be really, really worth tuning in for. Anyway, that said, I'm going to turn in for the night. I'll see you in the morning. Morning campers, that was a cracking evening followed by a very, very good night's sleep, all tucked up and warm in my trusty hammock. Anyway, I'm going to get the kettle on next. So that was a great night out in the woods with the guys from Operation Jackdaw, and now you've seen how I set my hammock up there. So yes, it's not the way that everybody does it, but it's what works for me, and I've done it that way for a very, very long time, and it always keeps me toasty warm, comfortable, up off the ground, out of the weather, and it gives me that little space that I can work under where I know it's dry, I've got light, it's got everything that I need all inside. Now, if you enjoyed this video, remember, hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel. Down below in the description box, well, there's links to all my social media, both Instagram and Facebook. There's also a link over there to my Etsy shop. Head over, have a look, because over there you'll find my Greencraft patches. Also in there is a link to something called the Shropshire RV, which is a bushcraft and survival type festival, a skill swap meet. I'm going to be there doing a talk, and hopefully I might see you there as well. So head over and check that out. I think that's everything. I've been Neil, and until next time, stay safe in the woods.